What's up, guys? Keyshawn Uchi here, back at you with another new alternate universe. What if? Now, this is pretty much my own what if idea. No one else didn't do this, and this is pretty much all created by me. And this is going to be what if Naruto was a Galaxy Bunny. Now, I know what y'all saying. Galaxy Bunny. This sounds like a gay what if. This sounds a little sus. This sounds like a JoJo Bizarre or some shit. I know what y'all thinking. Y'all kind of thinking of all that stuff. No, this is not a JoJo thing. Well, could say tiny bit, but it's not a JoJo thing. 100%, maybe 1%, and and no, it's not gay. But this is, you could say, what if Naruto was a galaxy bunny? Now, I'm basically gonna explain what is a galaxy bunny. So a galaxy bunny is basically, well, you could say a galaxy bunny. This galaxy bunny, well, Galaxy Bunny, or you kind of say being, like Naruto, can basically hop to other dimensions, alternate universes. Well, how can I say? It's kind of like D4C. He has the powers like D4Cs to hop into any dimensions or any realities he want to. Also, he can heal wounds. He can do a lot of stuff, but I will go forth and explain what he does. And what's this, could say? Also, I forgot he can also change DNA and stuff and change other people's DNA. So yeah, that can also happen. But other than that, let's get to the pretty much yeah. What if? Now, how we're gonna start this off? Well, we start off with pretty much you could say Kishan Uchiha. Now, this is where Planet Uchiha, Kishan Uchiha on Planet Uchiha begins to, you could say, sit on his throne and gets bored. As he's thinking, he says this. I want to see something new, something quite sparking, something that's out of the book. Which this is where, as he says, this is where, of course, he pretty much teleports to Naruto from the universe. And as Kishina is about to, give birth to Naruto, I pretty much, tap the belly. And of course, no one can't see me because, I can do that. And I tap her belly and pretty much restore Naruto the power of the Galaxy Bunny. Now, this is where, as Naruto's getting birthed, he will be birthed pretty much as usual in anime. And Minato and Kushina immediately look with eyebrows because Naruto pretty much has bunny ears and his hair is pretty much like this, the galaxy. And his eyes is unique ore, you could say, of the cosmic eyes. Now, this is where Naruto is pretty much, opening up his eyes and he's pretty much smiling at his mom and dad, Kushina. Now, of course, this is where the same as original canon. This is where you could say Obito is trying to grab Naruto until Naruto, does a crying and does a scream. Now this scream pretty much activate his pretty much power stand. Well, not a power stand, but spirit. And this is pretty much, how can I say, White Void. Now, White Void is pretty much a half galaxy spirit thing that, or spirit thing, cat-like being that is kind of like Naruto summoning, which Naruto kind of accidentally summoned on impact and made this thing pretty much come and protect Kushina, Minato, and everybody else. This is where Obito, before he knows it, get punched in the gut and get sent flying out there. Get sent flying. Now, of course, as he gets sent flying out, he's pretty much is getting back up, and his arm is already, like falling apart, and he's like trying to say, what the hell was that? Now, this is where, of course, as the thing, well, the void cat comes down, it begins to does a sniff, and pretty much this is what it does. Now, of course, this is where Obito's like is fear is like shit. He's shitting himself because pretty much this thing let out a terrifying, pretty much like like you could say that noise, which this is where Obito begins to try to run away, and the thing begins to start hopping to portals, coming right straight at Obito and attacking him. As of course, this is what Minato is looking at. he's pretty much shocked because this thing is attacking the shit at Obito, and Obito can't do it. This is where Obito, calmly waves himself out of there and pretty much goes into the other dimension. Now, this is where, as he's at the, other dimension, this is where the thing pretty much follows Obito, and Obito is scared shitless because this thing pretty much follows him in his own, domain. This is where the thing begins to about to kill Obito until Kushina calmed down Naruto, which Naruto opens up back his eyes and he's pretty much smiling with happiness, and pretty much touched his mom's face, and pretty much this is where he gets her genetics. More of her genetics on accident, and pretty much gets the genetics of the Nine Tails. Now, how can I say this? He pretty much took the Nine Tails from Kushina by accidentally doing that. Kushina won't die, she won't, but she won't. She will know that Kurama's not in her no more. You could basically say. Now, this is where I'm gonna switch back again. Here we go, and let's continue. Now, pretty much, this is where we have like a 5-year-old Naruto. Now, this 5-year-old Naruto does it original in canon, but since he has his mom and dad, he is much happier than his counter self as in canon. But this 5-year-old Naruto is basically training and stuff as, not training, basically, doing whatever stuff, carefree, but also, learning and stuff, and learning doing chakra training because, on his father. His father wants to wants to teach him chakra and stuff and all that. And Kushina also wants him to be on the book, so Naruto will be extremely intelligent in this. Now, this is where Naruto pretty much helps out Hinata as original canon. Basically looking at her and smiling, saying, "Is she alright?" Now, I forgot to tell you. Well, I don't really have to tell you. Basically, Naruto turns around and basically smiles and asks if she's alright. Basically says, "Are you alright?" Which pretty much Hinata says, "Yes, yes." Now, of course, this is where Naruto looks uh looks at her and basically, walks her home and asks, like, who was they, and she basically says a couple bullies and stuff, which Naruto says, does she need protection, which she says nah, she doesn't need protection, but she thinks so. And this is where you could say they have the differences that made each other, but will still basically fall in love with Naruto as original canon, or have a crush on him. Now we're just going to do a time skip again, and we're going to have a 10-year-old Naruto. Now, this Naruto has basically got training from his father and stuff, and has been learning techniques and jutsus and stuff, and learning a lot of things. Well, yeah, original as his counterparts. Now, of course, this is where you could say the Uchihas. The Uchihas have already got their precisions back and stuff, so that's also a difference. So the Uchiha won't get massacred, and Danzo really can't do anything. And plus, his almost nah, not yet. Pretty much, we're just gonna continue. Now, this is where Naruto is basically, in the academy. Basically in the academy, and this is where Naruto's doing the sparring match with Sasuke. Now, of course, this is where Sasuke, getting in fighting position, and Naruto, kind of has that rivalry thing with Sasuke, but he's much more stronger than Sasuke. But I'll basically explain. Well, I just go. Basically, this is where Sasuke and Naruto begins to have their match and fighting each other. Sasuke is trying to throw punches at Naruto, which Naruto is pretty much blocking them with ease or just dodging them. This is where Sasuke does a kick on Naruto's hands. Well, pretty much trying to do a jump kick at Naruto, which Naruto blocks, which Sasuke, he jumps off of it and basically does a fireball jutsu at Naruto. Coming from Naruto, this is where Naruto basically smiles and basically does the same thing back and shoots a fireball jutsu at Sasuke. But you could say a tiny bit more larger fireball, and the fireball is like black. Yeah, black, which Sasuke immediately dodged out the way, but got burned a little. And he begins to say, Alright, and he pretty much charges at Naruto, which Naruto charges at him back, and this is where Naruto begins to, fight Sasuke, and Sasuke loses in this. This is where I'm gonna say Naruto picks up Sasuke and, well, gives Sasuke a hand and asks, is he alright? This is where Sasuke, of course, accepts Naruto's hand thing, and this is where Naruto accidentally, we're gonna say accidentally, bless or share his power with Sasuke. Now, when Naruto shares power with people, they get a boost, but he gets a higher boost. So the more he shares his power with someone, the more boost he gets. But yeah, pretty much this is where Sasuke starts to see his hair change and stuff. And he realizes he starts feeling a more power boost. As this is the power boost he gets, which his hair starts changing, and he realizes that he's much stronger now. He feels much powerful. This is where Naruto says, your hair is like mine, which Sasuke says, what? And basically Ruka is shocked to show Sasuke a mirror, which Sasuke is shocked that he has the same basically hair. Now, Sasuke won't get the bunny ears. Well, yeah, he won't. Well, he will, but not. Well, no, he not really. But he will have, a much higher Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan in the long playthrough. But let's continue. After, Sasuke finding out that he has the same, hair and stuff, this is where Sasuke, looks at Naruto and asks him, well, you could say, demands, basically asks Naruto, do him, and, do Naruto wants to be his brother, which Naruto agrees and they become blood brothers, you could say. Which Itachi is looking because, he looks out for his brother sometimes to see if he's alright. And he's smiling because he made a best friend. Now, we're just gonna continue. Now, after, we're gonna say this is the testing. And Naruto passes with ease. Well, yeah, pretty much passes with ease. And pretty much comes out with Sasuke telling Sasuke that he passed it, which Sasuke is happy for him. But this is where Mitsuki pretty much makes it in and saying, do y'all want to have extra credit? Well, do y'all want to learn some secret jutsus and stuff? Which Naruto and Sasuke is, you could say, young, eager people who wants to, get power, get stronger. And I'm not saying oh, getting stronger for evil or anything. Like to get strong to protect their friends and the village and all that. Now this is where you know, Mitsuki says that they can learn secret jutsus, forbidden jutsus, in from the scroll of healing if they steal it and bring it back to him, which Naruto agrees and basically goes. Goes with the scroll and pretty much takes it. Now this is where Sasuke is waiting outside for him, and Naruto and Sasuke goes in and pretty much this is where Sasuke and Naruto pretty much starts going and they have the scroll. Now this is where Naruto opens up the scroll and Sasuke and Naruto immediately gets it down in the snap. Not as oh, it takes them about, a week or something later to learn it. No, they learn it in a snap. Because in one of the special abilities of becoming a Galaxy Bunny, you basically, or being a hybrid, like Sasuke, you basically learn jutsus. Well, Sasuke will, will have to do it in a minute, but Naruto, he would get it in a snap. Like, whatever jutsus he sees, or whoever does it, he will learns it in the snaps. He doesn't need to know the formatics of it, he just learns it, he knows it. So, Naruto basically learns all the jutsus, Multi Shaolin Jutsu, the Flying Thunder God, and also he learns the Rasengan. Now, this is where Naruto does the Multi Shaolin Jutsu, which Sasuke does it too. And yes, he has a little bit more chakra boost. He has a chakra boost, so now instead of having low chakra, he has more chakra than he usually does in canon. I would say let's try out his adult, like his teenager version. He has more chakra than his teenager version. Yeah, pretty broken. Now, this is where Naruto is forming the Rasengan, which Sasuke looks at it and he pretty much tried to does it too. This is where Naruto pretty much thinks that since he made Sasuke like him, he should probably, see if he can give him a chakra nature, which Naruto has all chakra natures because why not? And he basically, touched Sasuke on the shoulder or taps him, which Sasuke begins to do it, which Sasuke says, "Look, Naruto, I'm doing it." Or, "Look, brother," which Naruto smiles because he realized that he can give people what he has. Or if he sees someone that has a Kinkai, he can basically just copy it without you touching them. I kind of, well, if he wants to make someone like him, he has to touch him. But if he sees a Kinkai or anything, he would just copy it down in a heartbeat. Or if he wants to know what's more about them, he has to touch them. But other than that, let's continue. This is where Naruto and Sasuke is going to forest, waiting for Mizuki, which this is where Mizuki pretty much appears and stuff. And Iruka is asking what Naruto and Sasuke doing out here at night, which Naruto is basically about to tell what's about to happen until Mizuki comes in, throwing the giant shuriken, and basically hits Iruka in the back, making him fall on the ground. This is where Naruto says, "Iruka Sensei!" and begins to look at who do it, which this is where he sees Mizuki on the tree saying, "You stupid kids. Once I get the scroll ceiling, then I'm gonna take you, Sasuke, because Orochimaru especially been having his eye on you," which Sasuke is a little bit frightened, frightened a little bit, but this is when Naruto walks forward and says, I won't let you. I won't let you hurt my brother," which you could say they call each other brothers. This is where Mitsuki says, "Oh yeah? Try me," which this is where Naruto does the multi-Shaolin Jutsu as canon, but he does a little bit different, and he, get a kunai, and he begins to throw, the clones begins to throw a bunch of kunai at Mitsuki, which Mitsuki, blocks with his fist because he can't dodge all of that, and he gets cut by half of them, but this is where Naruto uses the Flying Regime with his clones, and pretty much is like circling Mitsuki around, beating the shit out of him, just absolutely, hitting him badly. This is where Mitsuki is down on the ground now, pretty much, knocked out on his ass. And this is where Naruto takes the shuriken out Aruka's back and basically is on the back saying, "This is all my fault, I'm sorry." Which Mitsuki says it's not your fault, Naruto, which Naruto begins to, like, hold down on his back, which he heals his back, which Naruto realizes that he has healing capability that can restore someone back to where they are. This is where, of course, Mitsuki feels much. I'm not Mitsuki. Iruka Sensei feels much better and thanks Naruto. And basically said that he didn't know Naruto had healing capabilities, which Naruto says he didn't know too. But Iruka forgives him and basically they take the scroll back. Now, this is where Naruto basically says sorry to his father, which his father says he forgives him. Which this is where Fugaku is right beside Minato because he will be next in line to become Hokage. But pretty much, Fugaku says he's very disappointed in his son, which this is where Naruto takes the blame for Sasuke and says, "No, this is my fault. I'm the one who wanted to get the scroll. I wanted Sasuke to help me out with it, and I'm sorry. It's not his fault, it's my fault." Which Fugaku says, "Well, if you say so, I'm disappointed in you could say both of y'all, but y'all did handle the situation, and I'm proud of y'all." Which Sasuke is happy that he got acknowledgement from his father. Naruto, yeah. Now this is where we're going to pretty much continue, and we're gonna go to the academy now, or the teams, and Naruto is pretty much sitting there, falling. Well, you could say sitting there, pretty much eating a carrot because we're gonna say he eats a carrot. Now, as he's eating a carrot, this is where Sasuke pretty much saying, "You always like eating carrots, Naruto," which this is where Naruto says, "What can I say? They're pretty good," which I know what y'all saying. You're making him like Buzz Bunny. No, I'm not making him like Buzz Bunny. He still has regular human teeth, but he do have the he keeps getting boost every time he eats a carrot. So he keeps getting stronger and stronger. Ever since he was a kid, up to 5 years old, and now he's 10, and he's been eating carrots. He has a massive boost. As if he uses full power to punch Sasuke in the face or punch anyone in the face, he'll pretty much blow off their face. Like they will just have no head no more. That's how powerful Naruto is now. Now, this is where the instructor comes in and he starts looking, and we're gonna say Minato kind of did something, which I will say what he did. This is where the guy looks down and says, "All right," and he says all the teams, but this is where he starts saying for Team Seven, um, Naruto, Uzumaki, which I should probably say, Naruto is the rookie of the year because, like I said, he did a lot of reading and stuff, and his mom, like I said, kind of wanted him to be on the books. But she also let him, have a normal life. Minato also trained him from like 5 years old to all the way 10 years old. So yeah, also that. So he becomes Rookie of the Year, which Sasuke doesn't get mad about, but he's happy for him. But Sasuke is second. Sasuke is second in class. And right behind is Hinata, and Sakura is dead last because I'm just gonna make it for a plot for a reason. Now, this is where Team 7 gets called. Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, uh, Hinata Hyuga, and Sakura Haruno. Now I know what y'all thinking. Are you copying Harry Fox right now? I'm taking only a small bit of his idea. A small bit from him. Just taking a small bit from his plate to add in mine. Well, you could say a small bit to his recipe to add in mine. So that's not my original idea right there. But I just wanted to take that from Harry Fox right there. Anyways, this is where Naruto stands up and says, "Wait, what? Why do we have two Kuroshis on our teams?" Well, since which this instructor says, since the Hokage, since the Hokage, which he says Minato, starts said that he wanted you to have your own training group and your own basically people who's like you, who has talent or special gifts, which we all know Sakura doesn't have a special gift, but Naruto's gonna give her a special gift, you could say. Now, this is where Naruto says okay, and the true reason that Minato wants to see if Naruto can really take use other DNA or dojutsus and stuff, and if he can also change other people's DNAs and stuff. Because we're gonna say since Fugaku's son is much stronger and stuff, and also he has the Sharingan. He unlocked the Sharingan much earlier as original canon since he has that boost by Naruto. Um, Minato wants to see if that actually, is true. Now, of course, this is where Naruto is basically waiting. Is waiting for Kakashi, but as he's waiting, he gets to basically, he is basically waiting for Kakashi and stuff. And this is where Naruto is saying he's taking awfully forever, and he goes up to the wall and hide, and he basically, you could say basically makes himself. Actually, no, he doesn't do that. He basically goes into a hole that he made, a portal hole, and he jumps in there. Now, this is where Sakura, Hinata, and also Sasuke is shocked that Naruto did that. But this is where Naruto is basically looking for Kakashi, and he can track down anyone's location. He just has to smell them. You could say smell the hint. Now, this is where Naruto basically um, jumps into a different location, and he basically looks and he sees that Kakashi is coming right now, or you could say he's at a grave. Now, this is where Naruto doesn't know what he really is doing, but he basically just says all right, and he just goes back to the room, and he tells Sasuke that Kakashi is coming. Now, this is where, as they're waiting for Kakashi comes in, Kakashi basically says, the same thing as usual in canon, which he basically calls everybody up on the rooftop, and this is where he, basically calls out everybody. Now, and where did their dreams go? Now, soccer is pretty much the same. Hinata, hers is hers is a little bit different, as she wants to become the leader of the Hyuga clan, and also she wants to become the strongest Kanoshi in the world. Now, Naruto's a little bit different, as he says he wants to become Hokage, but he wants to make, you know, the whole Leaf Village strong. Like, he wants to dominate all the other village, as he wants to conquer them all. Which Kakashi looks at an eyebrow, gives a waves two eyebrows, and everybody else too. But Naruto says it like in a fun, like a cool, nice, friendly tone, as, "Oh, I want to become Hokage, but I want to take over all the other Hidden Leaves villages and learn all their jutsus and make true peace, and we will all be in a one single unit as a unity." Which, Kakashi, he gets wide eyebrows saying, "Okay." And Sasuke's a little bit different. He wants to get stronger, but also he wants to, well, you could say, kill the person who killed half of their clan. Because we're going to say Obito killed half of the clan without Itachi, because Itachi didn't need to really kill the clan, because the Uchiha police force was still, they got their status back and all that, and it got brought back. But, Obito killed half of the clan. So, yeah. It just happened. Now, yeah. Also, yeah, pretty much. But other than that, this is where Kakashi tells them tomorrow's going to be a bell test, and pretty much, you know, come tomorrow, don't eat or you're going to puke. Which pretty much they all agree, and they start going. Now, this is where Naruto begins to, think about, since he touched Sasuke, he starts thinking about if he can, basically get Hinata and stuff, and basically buff her up, because, he wants to help out Hinata, and also he has a crush on Hinata too. Now, this is where he stops Hinata and asks her, well, basically asks, does she want to get strong, which, agrees and says yeah, which Naruto says to touch his hand, which she's blushing and saying, wait, what? Which Naruto says, give me your hand, which he basically is blushing to a little bit. He basically grabs her hand. Now, of course, this is where she passed out, but she basically gets the galaxy hair too. Now, I'm gonna say, since Naruto likes her, and the motion is neutral, she basically gets bunny ears too, which Naruto realized that he basically just shared, well, a part of him. Well, a part of him, which is the ears. Which the ears are not just there for show, but more as he can hear everything. He has a loud sense of hearing. So like a bug that's like the smallest bug, he can hear it walk. But this is where he also gets her genetics and stuff. Now this is where Naruto activate Byakugan, which by accident, which he realized that he has the Byakugan, and he can see like everything. This is where Naruto eyes begins to transform into the Sharingan, and he realizes he has the Sharingan. And now the eyes are like pretty much shifting and stuff, and it starts to shift and stuff, and it starts to mold into Kaguya's eye, which Naruto's, chakra is getting drained up and stuff, and pretty much molding in a lot, which it's hurting Naruto's eyes, and he begins to, bleed from his eyes, and begins to cough up blood, and hits the ground, because his body is pretty much, evolving, but it's pretty much killing him at the same time. This is where Naruto is pretty much, out, and Kurama is pretty much in Naruto, which I said said right now. This is where Naruto's looking around, and this is where Naruto sees a seal, and, well, pretty much a seal and a gate. This is where Kurama is pretty much saying, "Kid, let me out, or you will die." Which, this is where Naruto's saying, "Who are you?" which Naruto's not afraid, but he's pretty much curious. Which Kurama says, "My name is Kurama. Now hurry up and let me out before we both die." Which Naruto's saying, "Before we both die? What do you mean?" Which Kurama is, quickly explaining that what the eye he's getting is pretty much from Kaguya, and he's going to die if, you know, because the eye is pretty much it's taking is his eyes is well it's pretty much taking all his chakra that he has, and Naruto pretty much agrees. Well, pretty much believes Kurama because like Kurama never got into a genjutsu, and he never fought. Never wasn't. So his hatred is not as much, but he hates Uchiha still. But other than that, this is where Naruto breaks the seal because he can. And I know what y'all saying. He can't break the seal. Yes, he can. Like I told you, he's very powerful. And he basically breaks through the gate. Now this is where Kurama, smiles. It says, Thank you, kid. And he basically takes over Naruto's body. Now this is where Naruto body begins to heal up, and basically chakra is as spelling, and Naruto eyes begins to heal up again, and he begins to his body begins to heal, and all his chakras, and this is where Naruto gets a big boost as his eyes has boost into Kaguya eyes, and it deactivates, which Kurama begins to say, ah. And this is where Kurama gets up, but this is where Naruto pretty much grabs his ears and basically say, "What do you think you're doing?" Which Kurama says, "Huh, I'm gonna get my revenge." Which this is where Naruto basically, grabs Kurama's one of his tails and basically throws him back in the cage. Which Kurama is shocked that he did that, and basically basically closed the gate back up, and basically puts the seal back on there. Now Kurama is basically saying, "Wait, kid, no," which Naruto's saying, "First, I'm going to thank you for saving my life. But second, I'm mad at you because you was trying to take over my body and do what gods know whatever." Which Kurama begins to explain that there was a Uchiha named Mamoru Uchiha, and he wants to, he basically don't like Uchihas because of him. This is where Naruto basically say that the Uchihas are not like that anymore. They changed and stuff, and that one guy just did that to you. And he basically used the talk no jutsu. This is where Kurama, changes his mind, and he begins to talk to Naruto and becomes good friends with Naruto. This is where Naruto basically becomes good friends with Kurama, and they basically form a little bit of a bond. This is where Kurama says that he will let him use his chakra, but if he used too much of his chakra, it will come with, casualty consequences with the body, which Naruto understands and says, alright. Now, this is where Naruto is basically waking back up, but he wakes up in the hospital because after Hinata woke up, she took him to the hospital with bleeding bandages. Now, this is where Minato asks Naruto what happened to him, which Naruto basically said that he basically got the Byakugan Sharingan, and he was trying to see what he can do with them, and he pretty much made something new, which this is where Minato says, "Okay, what is it?" Which this is where Naruto activate Kaguya's, Rinnegan Sharingan, and Minato immediately gets in a mouth wide and says, "The goddess of all chakra eyes." Which this is where Naruto says, "Huh? Who?" Which this is where Minato begins to explain to Naruto and talk to Naruto that you remember the books that you always used to love to read about the Sage of Six Paths and stuff. Which Naruto says, yeah, and he begins to explain that, well, Kaguya and stuff, because we're gonna say they got that clean research, that not messed up research, and begins to tell Naruto, which Naruto says, "Oh, I see." Now, this is where Minato, sorry, this is where Minato basically, tells Naruto that he's surprised that he has it, which Naruto says he's surprised like that too, which he basically goes the next day to the build test thing. Now this is where Naruto, Sakura, and sorry if that just destroyed your ears. Sakura, Naruto, and Hinata and Sasuke is pretty much, waiting for Kakashi. He comes and basically, explains the build test and stuff. And that's where I'm going to leave off. Let's get this up to like 30 likes, and I will make a part 2. This is my first ever own idea in animations and stuff, which y'all saw. But I'm Keisha Chia. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.